So this video is not going to be scripted. Hopefully you guys don't mind that. But this is a video topic, or a topic on a video I've been wanting to make for a while now. It's going to be about the boomers. I understand. What I'm going to say is probably going to irritate some of you, but I feel like this is just something that needs to be talked about because it's going to be a very real video subject. And blackpilling also, obviously. You know, the boomers are very much not well regarded right now. Almost nobody under 40 likes them. You know, they have that selfish stereotype to them. That whole George Carlin joke, "Give me it, it's mine," that joke. The thing is, I don't think us millennials are going to be any different. Just as a thought experiment, wait until we're anywhere from 55 to 75 and just judge us as compared to the boomers. I don't think you're going to see much of a difference. Maybe we will be a little bit more self-aware. Maybe we'll be a little bit kinder to people, you know, out in public. But honestly, I think this goes for almost everybody when they hit those ages. You're just going to be much more bitter and, you know, have less patience. And that's going to rub off on people, you know, rub people the wrong way, especially younger people. So I think we're going to be, because a lot of millennials, I think, are going to feel like they were cheated in life. So they're going to take that out on the people around them, whether they're like, you know, at a grocery store or with the remaining family members or, you know, people they're interacting with out in public. Let me also include, I didn't really watch DBDR's last video or whatever video it was with about AI or something. I tried to tune in for about 20 seconds, but I was like, no, I don't feel like watching this. But the video he made, I think, before that, where he was talking about how he's kind of on hiatus with his trucking job, he segued into he talked about how his dad, you know, kind of forgot it was his birthday and was asking him for money and shit, you know, just bum behavior. But he also went into the subject of altruism and how he believes, because he was also talking about how his grandmother kind of screwed him and his mother over by like not letting them have the house and kind of kicking them out so that I guess she could sell that house and take all the money. And he talked about how he believes like when he's older, he's going to be much more altruistic and try to give everything to the remaining family members that he has. And, you know, this is also like him assuming that he's going to have a family of his own in the future, which is more than likely not going to happen. And that goes for all of us, including myself. A lot of us, including myself. You know, he also talked about how he wishes he could have a family so that he could make his parents proud of him. Just dumb, right? But him bringing up that subject of like altruism, how he believes he'll be much better as a boomer and be much more altruistic to his remaining family members and try to give them everything that he has before he dies. That really got me thinking more about this subject and kind of inspired this video topic. Not just that, but a lot of things related to that. But I honestly don't believe like him, me, a lot of us excess males are going to be like that when we're older. The economy is declining. And as, you know, the economy declines, this country declines, money's going to matter a lot more. As, you know, security's going to decline. Money is security. And when we're older, you know, old people are much more vulnerable. We can't really work. We can't do the things we did when we were younger. So money is security, and we're going to need that shit. Boomers need their money because a lot of them can't really work like they used to. Just imagine us, like a lot of us excess males when we grow older. This is also going to relate to a video I posted about on my post tab. It was from Collective Dismal. And his most recent video, I believe, was the one that it really spoke to me near the end. It was a good video all around. But the last few minutes really spoke to me and like held up a mirror to myself. And it was like I was seeing me in my future or something. And how already my patience is thinning with normies and boomers. But like when we're older, you know our tempers are going to be shorter. And our patience is going to be like so thin, it's going to be out the window. I don't think a lot of us are going to be that altruistic with like our family and friends like we think we're going to. I mean, well, really our family. Friends aren't really related to this topic. But it's like the thought in my mind is my property is mine. My money is mine. That's what I'm posing right now, is for us to think about that. And how if we really are going to be that good and altruistic towards our remaining family members, and even if we should, and this whole idea of sacrificing for your family and for society, I'm really going to try to subvert that a little bit with this thought experiment. You know, a lot of us aren't going to have families. The nuclear family is in stark decline, you know. 50 to 100 years ago, most nuclear families are anywhere from 10 to 30 people. Now there's barely 5, you know, broken homes everywhere, single parents with maybe 1 or 2 kids and maybe an aunt or an uncle or maybe one grandparent if they're still alive. So it's like nuclear families are on their way out anyway. And most of us are just not going to have them. That's like why we're in this community and we talk about the things we talk about. So much is in decline, not just the economy, but like families themselves and their formation. So who are you even going to have left in your family to even give to? Your niece and nephew or their kids? Like that's kind of like a similar situation to what I'm in. I'm more than likely never going to have a family of my own, a wife, or kids. I'm just like a 90% certainty that that's just not going to happen. It would be like a Herculean effort to even maybe try to attain that. And then I often wonder if it's even worth it. But since I'm not going to have that in my life, all that's mine is I'm going to look at it as mine. The thing is, I still might have family members. Like when I'm 70, I'm barely going to have any family left. Maybe some of the younger family members, younger than me, they might have kids, but I'm starting to question if I'm going to be that giving towards them when I'm old. The ones that are around now wanted me to like add them as beneficiaries to my bank accounts. For the off chance that I get hit by a car or if I die, they'll at least have some money to where they can make a house payment or two in my absence. That way they don't lose the house or something because they could be poor in the future or something. That whole thing. And I did that for one of my bank accounts, but there's another one, a bigger one that I'm not going to because one, it's one I primarily do online and I don't even feel like doing that. Set up a meeting or get signatures, mail it in. I don't even feel like doing that. I think I've done enough with the one bank account that they're a beneficiary on. I think the rest of that money's going to be mine. Like if I got some kind of a medical death warrant, a notice saying you're going to be dead in 6 to 12 months, I'm selling where I'm at now. I'm taking out all my money and I'm going to go have fun for the remainder of that time. I'm going to do everything I want to do. Nothing crazy or illegal, hopefully. I mean, that money's I'm gonna hedonism max. That's what I'm gonna do. I might leave them, the remaining family, something like, I mean, they'll get life insurance money and, hopefully they could use that for my cremation or something like that. Maybe I'll give them something, but 90% of that money is going to be mine to do as I please and for me to enjoy the remainder of my life. And I don't think that's so wrong to say. A lot of us probably have to get that notion out of our mind of sacrificing for our families and for society. Society has disregarded us and does not care for us. It's indifferent to us at best and hates us at worst. And a lot of us are hated. Believe that. I hope I don't treat service workers poorly. That's one side of boomers and normies I do not like. And, for any of us that have worked in the retail sector, in customer service positions, a lot of you know. We hear stories about it all the time from like channels similar to mine, like Blackpill and Excess Mail channels. That's one thing I hope I'm not like. Is say by some miracle I do make it to 60 or 70. If I haven't cut my life short by my own hands by that point, not saying I'm going to. I'm just saying if I do make it to that old age, I hope I am cordial with service workers much more than these piece of shit boomers are now and these fucking normies are now. Because obviously service workers they already don't get paid well. You don't need to add to the problem of ruining their day, even if you don't like your life or like your past. And I think that's what a lot of boomers and normies do. They just take out their lives and their past and their troubles out on a service worker because they know they can kind of get away with it without physical ramifications. But like Dismal was talking about in his latest video, that's a lot of us excess males, especially when we get older. I'm feeling it now, but a lot of us are going to be much more short-tempered and are going to have less patience for that normie boomer bullshit. And I'm agreeing with him because I feel it, man. There's going to be one day I'll probably get fired from a job because just one day I'm just going to snap on somebody. And like I'll say again, this may sound very bad to you. You may think like this, what I'm saying right now is terrible, that you should always sacrifice for your family. Your family has your back. That's not always true. What I'm saying is very subversive. It goes against like what we've been taught our whole lives, what media tells you to sacrifice for your life or sacrifice your life for your family and for your country and society and all that. But I don't think it's prudent for you to sacrifice for an indifferent society. Now, your family may care about you. And sure, like if you do have family members that truly love you and are good to you, then sure, help them out. Let them inherit some of your wealth, I guess, if you do amass a wealth. Sure, let them have a piece of it. I don't think it's too off the wall to include some of that objectivist, self-interest, selfish thinking into our lives. And I think we would be much better suited for it. Because it's not just our family. Society needs us to be altruistic. A society needs altruism. I don't know how a society doesn't really move forward without true altruism. If everybody's just selfish and self-interested all the time, some may say that, in a capitalistic sense, where everybody's just looking out for their own self-interest, they may say that, a society endures that, but I don't know. I think that's how you get like a more sociopathic, consumerist type of society. I could be wrong though. But the society that we have right now, it needs altruism. It needs excess. It runs on excess males. That's another statement I made in another video. The world doesn't run on Duncan. It runs on, or what is it? America runs on Duncan. I think that's the saying. America doesn't run on Duncan. It runs on excess males. Every society does. Every society has. So I'm just trying to state things to the contrary. I would love it if, since excess males are becoming a much larger demographic and are going to, this is not turning around. I think once a society starts its decline, like a nation, a great nation starts its decline like Rome or something, there's no way it's going to ever turn around. I've never seen or heard about a country that ever turned around their decline. The only time, again, I think I brought this up, the only time that kind of happened was like the Great Depression or something, and where, America bounced back from that. We did bounce back from a civil war also, and civil wars often end countries too. But a decline like this, like a moral degradation that, obviously coincides with a socioeconomic decline of like its young people. I don't think I've ever heard of a nation really bouncing back from a decline like this, where nobody's having. This isn't going to turn around to where people just start having grand families again. Like, I can't see. How does that happen without like some kind of top-down like dictatorship or authoritarian government? People aren't going to just magically do that themselves. They would have to be forced to do it. So this isn't turning around. So I think it is smart for excess males to look out for their own best interests when they're older, and because nobody else is going to. Society hates you right now. What do you think society is going to think of you when you're old? A 30-year-old excess male, you're 30 and society hates you at worst, is indifferent to you at best. How do you think they're going to feel about you when you're like 40 years old and it's time for you to collect Medicare and Social Security? Like, they're going to hate you even more probably. So again, knowing that, I think you should act accordingly. And I don't think being selfish or self-interested is such a bad thing. I think this country and Disney and Hollywood and all that has tried to convince you that that's evil and not just. I'm trying to say that that's not true. I think that's every excess male's right, is to be much more self-interested in every way they can be. Comment below if you think I'm wrong. Dislike this video if you think what I'm saying is abhorrent, because some people won't say this. They're all about family no matter what, even if their family's bad to them, I guess. Like DBDR was talking about that. His parents have been not really good to him. I'm not going to get into that, but you know what I'm saying? DBDR still wants to please his parents regardless of how growing up with them was. Some people just have it in them and they just can't get it out of their minds, but I don't feel that way. So again, let me know what you think. Do you think I'm right or wrong? How do you plan on living your life when you're past 70? I'd love to hear it, and I might explore this topic more going forward. Who knows?